Good evening, everyone. It is now 6:42, and we want to welcome everyone to Weldon City Schools regular board meeting. The next item on the agenda is the election. First of all, let's start with our mission statement. And we'll read that in unison together. Mrs. Poston. Ready? The mission of the
City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens who value education as a lifelong process.
Thank you. All right, we're going to item number 3, which is the agenda review and approval. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Second.
Okay, then, motion by Mr. Robinson, second by Mr. Davis to approve, tonight's agenda. Are there any questions from anyone? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the agenda has been approved for tonight. The next item on the agenda is the election of the board chair. Board policy 2200 states that the superintendent will conduct the election of the board chair. I will now pass the gavel to Dr. Shotwell to conduct the election for board chair.
All right, I get to hold on to it for maybe 2 minutes. In a moment, I will call for nominations for the office of Chair of the Wilton City Board of Education. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second. If more than one person is nominated, the board will vote on nominees in order of nomination. The first person to receive the majority vote of board members present is elected chair. At this time, are there any nominations for the office of board chair?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Ms. Tiffany Hill.
Are there any other nominations? All right. Since there's only one, those in favor of Ms. Tiffany Hale being the chair, say aye. All opposed, say no. All right, Ms. Hale, you are elected chair by unanimous vote. I now pass the gavel. I had to hit it one time.
I did it one time. That's it. At one time.
Thank you. All right, nominations are in order for the office of vice chair. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Noah Davis.
I nominate Donna Harris.
Who was the? Noah Davis. All right, are there any other nominations? Those in favor of Noah Davis as vice chair, say A. Those opposed, say no.
Okay.
All right, let's start over.
Ms. Haley, you can take them one at a time, so,
Okay.
you can call for a vote in favor of Mr. Davis as vice chair, since he was nominated first,
I did.
and ask for those in favor to say aye, and then pause to collect that vote for, collecting the.
All right. Those in favor of, Noah Davis as vice chair, say aye. Three. Those opposed, say no.
No.
So we have,
Do we know the total?
Three.
Aye.
did you go, you
I
said
did.
what? Four.
Did you vote, Ms. Haley?
I did not. Aye. I'm done.
That's a majority, so.
Okay.
Mr. Davis is vice chair.
Okay. So we don't have to go any further. All right, so now we're gonna return to our, Mr. Davis, congratulations, you're the vice chair.
Thank you very much.
All right, now we're gonna return to the agenda for our meeting. With me preside. And the next item on the agenda is open session, approval of minutes, action item. Is there a motion to approve minutes?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Okay, the motion by Mr. Davis and seconded by Ms. Edith Jenkins to approve the, minutes. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, the minutes have been approved. Next, we have recognition of upcoming school events, new hires, Mr. Angela Leeds.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, wow, board chair, vice chair, members, all those that are in attendance tonight. We start with our recognitions and acknowledgements. Weldon Global Academy. We have Josiah Peterson. He is actually here. He's hiding in the. He won't, he's a little nervous. Try to talk to Mr. Conley, but
Do we take it to the March school?
that'll be all. First grade.
Oh, yeah.
This is, Principal Lee. It is my privilege to recommend Josiah Peterson as our student of the month. Josiah exemplifies qualities we strive to instill in all our students. He consistently demonstrates responsibility, respect, and dedication, both inside and outside. His mom, she's going to do it. And next we'll have Weldon Middle School, Nicholas Barker. Nicholas here?
Your side was mine.
Nicholas is mine.
Um,
All right.
Take it to March too.
Okay.
Josiah Peterson is not Weldon Elementary. Right? Okay. He's Weldon Middle.
He's Weldon Middle.
Yes.
He's in the band?
No. No.
Okay. And you have Mr. Hopkins.
Nicholas Walker.
All right, Nicholas Barker. He's in the band. All right. So that's here, the thing that is said about him. It says Nicholas always displays a great attitude when it comes to learning. He demonstrates great character by always doing what's right. He is a leader in the band and very talented, having the ability to play more than one instrument. He's very respectful to all of the adults in the room as well as towards his fellow peers. We are thrilled to congratulate Nick as our student of the month.
All right, Nick.
And Ronald Valley Early College, Carlos Aguilar.
Dr. Robinson?
Carlos is a 12th grade scholar who is extremely hardworking, driven student. He is memorable and intentional about his future and his career goals. Congratulations, Carlos.
Hold it, honey. Hand it to you here. Right over here.
You're by yourself? Okay.
He's a big.
Malik, you sure you want to be in this picture? I'm just.
All right.
Katie got the elementary. So. Middle school, and who's got Joanne? No, who's we on Kaden now? Kaden, David. That's the one hiding in. All right, so we're gonna get our middle school student, and your middle school student, how do you name, got me? Middle school student name? Josiah. There he is. He's not here. So Caden Davis, that's our elementary baby. Is he coming in? His mom is sitting right there. He said he was coming in. I said, give you a little time, give you a little time. So Caden Davis shows charge of pride in all subjects, all day, every day. Very friendly with everyone, very helpful, kind and caring, honest, and helps with tact.
Gaines morning.
No. You want to get Cadence? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know they heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll turn. Here, I'll put this. We'll get you right. I'll go by there in March.
Thank you. Next, we will have our employee of the month, and that is Mrs. Daria Johnson. I didn't see her here today. Ms. Johnson is an outstanding support to Weldon City Schools. There is no job too big or too small. She has a heart full of dedication for what she does for students and staff. Weldon City Schools is very proud to announce Daria Davis as an employee of the month. Recognition and acknowledgement will be Mr. Derek McGee. I see you here tonight. And if anybody knows Mr. McGee, he's very busy, so we're glad to have him here. Very busy man. Mr. McGee is always supportive of Weldon STEM High School Career Academy. Not only does he support his kids, but he opportunities for other students at the school with fire and rescue training. These students are leaders in our school, and they are learning various leadership skills under the direction of Mr. McGee. We are very thankful to have Mr. McGee as our parent of the month.
I'm really interested in the way that. Just appreciate it. It looked good, it sounded good.
Oh,
Right.
That's exactly right.
thank you.
Sir.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to y'all, thank you all for doing this.
And our last acknowledgement, of course, we would just like to, welcome the existing, of course, Ms. Donna Bell Harrison as our board member and the new electees. Thank you so much. We're excited about working with you as a school system. We look forward to things that's going to happen this year with your support. That's the end of our recognition. You want some more?
No, just come on. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Okay, next item on the agenda is public forum. Ms. Dr. Shotwell, do you have anyone for public forum tonight?
I do, I have Mr. Ken Brooks.
Hi, Ms. Brooks? You ready? I will be giving you 3 minutes to talk, and I will start your time in just a few moments. And whenever you're ready to start, I'm ready.
Good evening to all.
Good
The
evening.
first shall be last and the last shall be first. Last month, I neglected to give accolades to someone who was so very deserving. Mr. Brian Hopkins, an excellent child of God, son, husband, father, WSSU Ram, professional, committed, caring educator. My son spoke with Mr. Hopkins for 1 second, and he said, "I'm glad you're in Weldon," and that was enough for me, because my son is a good judge of character, and he is a professional who wants the best for all children as well as me. Mr. Hopkins, I met about 2 years ago. He's not intimidated, being a professional educator. If he has time, he'll talk with you. If not, he'll say, "I'm busy, I'll talk with you later, but I will get back with you." He doesn't run away from you. He is just a wonderful young man, and I am so honored, Mr. Hopkins, that I left your name off, because tonight I want to give you all the accolades there is, because you are certainly deserving. And Mr. Hopkins, I have a little gold box. I didn't bring it up. I have family emergencies, but I'm going to give you that gold box. And in 2025, it's going to be filled with all good things. I want you to share with Miss Tyler, because I appreciate the professionalism I see in the two of you at the school. Thank you so much for your professionalism. I certainly hope Weldon City Schools appreciates your anointing and don't allow them to take your anointing. Keep it. It's God's gift to you and your gift to the children. And if I have any more minutes, I have some things I will say in 2025 to this new board. I'm not intimidated by you. I did not get to be on the board. Neither did the person who was most qualified for the highest position in the country. But I'm still an advocate for the children and will continue to be. So look for me because Regina Brooks will be here. And as I've said before, if you're not for the children, leave Weldon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is superintendent's report.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to reschedule item number 1 on there for the January meeting. But what I do have, other than good tidings for everybody, which is Christmas, we're making a lot of progress on the school. If you've not been by there since the ceremonial tossing of the dirt and the initial knock into the school, all the walls are gone. And it was just a foundation. I went out there yesterday and did some drone footage to I'm trying to keep up with it so that when we get to the end of the project, we can see how far we've come along. But they're really making a lot of good time. And so just be thankful that it was just misting the other day, that we've not had any really weather interruptions for our project. And and as I had promised you, with the, you all gave me the authority to be able to work through some change orders, and I told you I would let you know about those. I just got this one today. You all don't have to vote on it, but I want to make you aware of it. And what it is, it dealt with the abatement for asbestos. There were 2 areas that were left off the initial time. And so we were charged for that, and and went from 15 days to 21 days. And it's really, there's really nothing that we can do about it because it had to be taken care of.
Was there any additional charge for that?
Yes, that's what this is.
Okay.
But we have owner's contingency,
Okay.
and also, as you know, for our new board members, that we have a opportunity for that sales tax reimbursement. So there's going to be some things that we're going to be bringing back to the board, asking you for your approval that we, in addition to the existing project, it'll be some alternates that we have in our initial bid and with GMP 1, and also some additional things that are not necessarily in the initial scope of the project. One of which I would say too would be for the Ralph J. Bunch gym, would be to sand it down, redo everything on the floor because that old polyurethane. So, you know, it goes from really beautiful wood to brown
Yeah.
and white turns gray underneath there. To take care of that, put new stenciling down and possibly some new bleachers and painting inside of there. So that when our kids come back to the school, that it doesn't matter which gym you go into.
Right.
There's gonna be this really nice big sense of pride. And I'd also say too, that probably some LED lights for the gymnasium would be called for. I know y'all been in there, but it's a little dark and it needs to be brighter. You know, we've seen how some other folks have their facilities, and so we're excited about that. The other piece is that I just want to say thank you to the board and the community, the teachers and our students for the opportunity to be able to be the interim superintendent since April 1st. This has been a labor of love for me, that every time I come down here, there's always a piece of Weldon that goes back home with me every week. Because something happens down here that just really changes my life in a positive way. And, you know, last week it was when I went to Cracker Barrel to eat. It's really easy to get a table when you're asking for a table of 1. You got all those little 2 tables, 2-seater tables. I'm not the only one in there like that. But when I was checking out, one of the young ladies said, you're the superintendent of schools, aren't you? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, I saw you at my school today. And she was just a grinning, and I was too. And it just makes me feel really good, because when I go out to the schools, the kids are all, we have some of the absolute best children in the state of North Carolina in terms of how they, act and behave. And I just want to say that, publicly, because, I mean, absolutely wonderful children here. And that's all I have, other than Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you.
Next item is the board chair report. And I would first like to say, give honor to, no, we're not supposed to mix the church and the schoolhouse together, but I would like to give honor to God because, I'm now the board chair for Weldon City Schools, and I'm not going to take it lightly. I thank each and every one of you all for, entrusting in me, this task. Our former board chair, when he did get ill, he told me that, you know, I could do this. And he felt that, you know, I would come against opposition and everything, but he believed in me. And that meant a lot to me. And I've been acting in this role since July. I just want to thank everybody that unanimously voted for me tonight in here, and the community also for entrusting and thinking enough of me to keep me on the board. As we come to the close of our first semester, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Our dedicated staff, teachers, administrators, support teams, for your hard work, commitment, and unwavering dedication. It has truly been a wonderful first half of the semester, and your efforts did not go unnoticed. Your passion for education, the care you show for our students, and your constant support for one another are the foundation of the success we've achieved so far this year. It is because of you that we are able to continue making progress towards our goals and creating a positive, nurturing environment for our Weldon City Schools community. As we approach the holiday season, I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope this time of rest and celebration brings you joy, peace, and time with your love. As we look towards 2025, I feel with hope and excitement for the future. I pray that the new year will bring renewed strength, growth, and success to all of us. Let us continue to work together as we always do and bring our Weldon charge back stronger than ever, filled with all the charge of pride that makes us who we are. Thank you once again for everything you do, and have a wonderful holiday season. Next item on the agenda is going to be our beginner teacher plan by Ms. Sharon Jewell.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so the beginning teacher support plan is something that is required by the state for a public school to have. And we had a review done back in March, and it was found that some things were missing from the plan that we had, so we had to go back and do some revision. And so that's what we did. And so the goal of the beginning teacher support plan is to provide a positive experience for new teachers, where we focus on helping them gain their knowledge and skills with effective teaching, and that's provided in many different formats. The purpose of the beginning teacher support plan is to offer support for the development and professional growth of new teachers through their first 3 years. And that's a joint effort by the schools as well as the central. Now, as I said before, beginning teachers are teachers within the first 3 years of teaching. And so they have certain expectations that they're required to meet, and there are certain things that we have to do for them as well. So beginning teachers, and this is not the full list of expectations that would be in the actual plan that should have been or so they have to meet with their school-based mentors weekly. They're not, or they cannot be assigned any extracurricular assignment unless they request it in writing and it has to be approved by their principal as well. And they have to attend monthly meetings with the beginning teacher coordinator for the district, which is myself. All beginning teachers are also required to have a mentor. They have to go through peer observation. They have a minimum of 3 administrative observations per year. They have to do a PDP at the beginning of the year. And of course, there's summative evaluation. There is our meeting schedule. We have had one every month since September, and those dates for 2025. Of course, the dates are subject to change based on what is going on with other PDs in the district or whatever is going on. With the program, we have to select mentors, and not everybody can be a mentor. So to choose a mentor, we have to meet a certain criteria that is set by the state. So a current teacher or retired teacher can be BT mentor. They have to be at least proficient in these things. And one thing we try to do is have all the BT mentors be based at the site that the BT is working at. Sometimes that's not always possible, but it is so that the mentor can then work with BTs in another school as long as it's okay with or approved by the principal. Mentors have to go through a mandatory 6 hours of training that's also requirement. So the mentors had to apply and be approved by Mr. Holloman. They had to go through training here at the district office. We did that back in August. Also, if it so happens that a mentor comes on after that initial training was done, online training is available. And continued training and development for mentors as well as the BT. Regarding the beginning teacher program, one of the requirements is also that we have an orientation conduct them, and so we had a 3-day system-wide orientation back in August for all new teachers within the district. It was facilitated by myself as well as Mr. Hudman, and we had many presenters. And some of the topics are listed here. The full list of topics would be, again, on the beginning teacher support plan that was provided. And I included a few pictures from our orientation that we had. These are some of the major roles that the mentors fulfill. So they have to provide on-site support for the BTs. They meet with their BTs weekly. They provide activities that have to be aligned with the North Carolina mentoring standards. And they have to conduct an orientation for BT to join later in the school year. So if a BT comes on who was not there for that 3-day orientation, their mentor has to go through that orientation process with them. Our mentors are compensated through Title II funding and or additionally, yes, everything is in the plan, expect.
Yep.
Good job.
So we do have this to ask for the board.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the school safety plan?
No.
I mean, excuse me, we're gonna teach a support plan.
Hey, I make a motion that we approve the beginning teacher support program.
All right, there's a second, Ms. Bird Robinson, motion. Okay, the motion by Ms. Bird Robinson, second by Mr. Bennett to approve the beginning teacher support plan. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the beginning teacher support plan has been approved. Next item on the agenda is the financial report.
Yes, ma'am, and I'm gonna step in tonight for that because this kid is unable to be with us. And you would not want her here since it's the flu season.
Ooh,
So I told her not to worry about it, just to get better. And so, but anyway, I present to you all of the financial statements. If there are any questions that you have with any of those, please feel free to ask me. Otherwise, that is the amount of money that we've taken in and expended, and it brings you up to the year-to-date totals and what would be in the reserve. And also the budget amendments. Yeah, we're still catching up from the beginning of the year.
So we have to,
If you can just,
approve the,
approve the budget amendments and then, accept the financial statements.
we don't have to accept it.
You don't have to have a motion to accept the,
For the,
statements, but you do need a motion for it.
okay. Is there a motion to approve the amendments?
I make a motion to approve.
second.
A motion by Mr. Peter Jenkins and seconded by Mr. Noah Davis to approve the budget amendments. Are there any questions? Now, can I get your usual vote to sign? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the budget amendments have been approved. Next item is federal programs and student services, Ms. Geneva Riddick.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
I have provided for you an update on our federal programs as far as the amount of money that we have received in each of our titles for the year. I also have broken down the difference between grant year 4 and grant year 5. Grant year 4 are funds that were carryover. Grant year 5 are our new money. And you can see the total amount. I also wanted to provide that for additional information for our new board members. This was provided when our plans were approved as to the purpose for each of those titles, which a lot of people are familiar with Title 1, but all of the other ones are also called titles that we receive funds for. Along with that slide that was previously presented, I also wanted to make sure that you are up to date on how much we have remaining in those titles. For grant year 4, those funds must be expended by September 30th of 2025. We must have the purchase orders completed in the system by that time, and then all purchases invoiced before December 30th of 2025. So we're trying to spend grant year 4 monies first, and then go into grant year 5. You will see sometimes that grant year 5 money is being tapped into. If we have budgeted out for salaries that will take care of those positions for the entire grant year 4, but we also wanted supplies and materials or some contracted services, then we reached into grant year 5 for those. That's why you'll see that some of those will have 100% of grant year 5 remaining,
Mhm.
while others will have some partial expenditures already accounted for. Federal funds you don't receive at the beginning of the year, like state funds. They come in part in October, November, and then the other part a little bit later. Current grants, on the left, you'll see awards notifications that were received at the time in which this presentation was sent in. Those were the grants that we had received since our last, or funds that we had started being able to draw down from since our last board presentation. In addition to that, since this presentation was submitted, we received the school resource officer part of the safety grant, which was $88,000 renewable for a second year, as long as we turn in all of our financial reports at the end. And that is for the salary of elementary and middle school SRO officers. The state provides the high school SRO officer. That's not a grant, that's an automatic part that's provided. And then $12.50 for school resource officer training to provide professional development. In the recent incidents in our country, you see the importance of having the safety. We are still waiting on the equipment, the services and support, because we did write in for mental health support, and to have a school psychologist on call or standby. We're not able to hire one to be full-time here as a part of that second grant, which is about $950,000 that we submitted for. So we're waiting to hear for that. Currently completing for pending submission is a Keep NC Beautiful window of opportunity. You might hear it as WOO or WO grant. Is to provide funds to help with beautification at schools. So we can provide funds for plants, we can provide funds for anything that the school might say needs to make the front more welcoming. I've been working with Mr. Hunter to get some pictures, and that's a part of the application process. And that's due on the 20th. Waiting for award notifications. The part A was the school resource officer. We did get the school resource officer funding at the 88,000 times 2. They did it based upon ABM because they had so many districts that applied. And we're still waiting on part B. Competitive grants that we're waiting the RFPs to be released for is the 21st Century Learning Center grant and the NC Stronger Connections. That's very similar to the Safe Schools grant. So those are ones that we're waiting to be able to submit. On the student services side, some of student services and curriculum kind of overlap a little bit. Attendance impacts student achievement. The support counselors give and social workers give impact graduation. So you'll see some information here that could actually fall in either presentation. We want to start recognizing attendance and giving some type of reward. So for today, the first thing we're going to do is just recognize. If I'm not giving a certificate, the school with the highest attendance with RVEC. So thanks for those students there that are coming to school at a higher rate, and the district-wide grade level with the highest attendance are our seniors. So our seniors are coming to school. They see the light and they're ready.
All right.
And I did provide a trend graph so that you can see change over time from 2022, 2023. And the principals are provided at the end of every month, and our school counselors and social workers where our attendance is. So they can track it by school, they can track it by grade level. That's what globally we provide to all of our principals in one file, but they also have the ability in Infinite Campus to find any chronically absent students, and to see if there's a certain grade level that's dipping down, are there specific students that are causing that to happen? So they can drill down to the actual student and then start providing those attendance plans. I did put some strategies over there that our school student services teams are working on to try to help with increasing attendance. That's just a file that talks about how attendance matters. We are noticing our lower grades, our pre-K students and our kindergarten students are having a more difficult time with attendance. And so we want to start sharing with our parents about how important that is to have those students that are applied and wanted to be in pre-K to actually come to school so that they can get that those foundational skills between pre-K and kindergarten in place. And if you want to see that on a larger scale, I did put a larger copy of that in your packet as well. The four-year graduation tracking, we have it for 21-22, 22-23, and the 23-24 school year. And the principals are starting to look at their cohort file with Ms. Davis and Ms. Aquila to notice any students that are should be in the cohort file. They're on target, graduated 4 years for the high school or 5 years for RVED. Because of early college, they have a 5-year that equates to the 4-year grade. And if there are any students that are not in there, for example, they were not in the 9th grade in Weldon, that they transferred into Weldon after 9th grade, and they're on target to graduate on time, we add those students in. The more students in the denominator, when there's one student that doesn't graduate on time, it doesn't hurt as bad as if that denominator was smaller. That's that numbers game. So the more you can get in there on time, the higher your graduation rate can be. And if a student leaves us and goes to another school, but comes back at some time, and maybe when they went to the other school, they didn't get the welcoming, homey, care and support that Wilton provided, so they fell behind. We don't have to have them in the cohort file, because once they leave us, we can take them out. So we want to make sure that any students that are impacting us negatively, and the rule within the graduation rate says that we can do that, we want to make sure we take that into consideration. Of course, credit recovery, and recovery before credit is lost is one thing that the high schools are working. If you see greater than 95, that means that publicly, we can't say, even if it was 100%, publicly, you can't say that number, so that's why it just shows the greater than 95%.
Okay.
McKinney-Vento, our homeless student updates, I did share that I would give you an update on those. The file there is kind of a little loading bar, kind of hiding it. Can you hide that bar there just one second? There. 43. 43 are our current number of identified students. Our numbers are dropping. That means our families are finding more stable home. That still is a high number for a district our size.
Yes.
And I want to publicly thank and give credit for our social worker, Ms. April Whitaker, who does a wonderful job. She leaves her family on Thanksgiving and Christmas at times to make sure that those families have what they need. And a lot of evenings and a lot of early mornings, making sure those kids have what they need as well. She does an amazing job, and thankful to the maintenance department for traveling to Greensboro to help her get some supplies that were donated, a lot of boxes of donated supplies for our students. And we do have a special shout out to St. Andrew's A&E Church that called that they wanted to adopt a family for Christmas. Angel Tree Process, that's a lot of our district staff, and the Arthur Outreach Center are just a few that are helping with the Christmas. And we believe that all of our families that have been identified as in need are being served.
Okay, great.
Question. Thank you.
Okay.
Next is going to be curriculum instruction.
Evening, everyone. Like to At this time, start with our district plan. Improvement, well, our district improvement plan. We always start our strategic plan off by listing our vision and mission statement. Of course, we all know what they are. Matter of fact, we repeated one of them tonight, as we do at each board meeting. Then we would like to just present the goals for our district strategic plan. And of course, this plan will be one that will be a continuous working document. Although we are presenting it, it will span through 5 years. But within the 5 years, we will go back end of each semester and visit it unless needed prior to the end of the semester to revisit, just to make sure that we're on track. We need to change something, or if the data is not aligning and we need to go back, whatever we might need to do. So it's a living, breathing document we will continue to work on. And these are the same goals that we have put in the InduStar, which is our state system that we use, that our schools use as well to submit their student improvement plans. But if you will look, you'll see that goal 1, our first goal for Weldon City Schools, is to increase academic performance for all learners. And some of the strategies that will be used to do that will be, of course, to build organizational capacity, creating more opportunities for our teachers to expand their knowledge. So offering our teachers various opportunities to grow and build capacity within them so that they are effective in the classroom. Also teaching our teachers, or at least giving our teachers the proper training to make sure that the information that they pass on to our students has the academic rigor in it that our students need in order to be able to globally compete with students from all other areas as well. Another strategy would be to increase our student engagement through differentiation and collaborative teaching and learning processes, and at the same time supporting our social and emotional learning piece, which we know is a huge piece, especially in today's society. Social emotional issues exist that have to be addressed, and that is one of our goals in order to be able to make our students more competitive. Of course, implement the school and district MTSS team approach with fidelity. We are working on building our MTSS team at the district level so that that level can move to the school level. Make sure that MTSS is functioning at the school level. That's our multi-tiered system of support. So sometimes when our students have discipline issues, we want to use the MTSS process at the school level, especially if a student or if a teacher or an administrator feels like the student needs to be referred for testing. We want to make sure that they go through the MTSS process. So we're going through training at the district level with Osmond Lister, who is our state representative, our state support. He is helping us out with that piece, as well as Catherine Stigman. Another strategy will be to use ongoing monitoring of our individual student achievement goals on their local and state assessments. As a matter of fact, we have some testing going on this week, benchmark testing, EOC testing. We do not have data just yet, but we do have that testing going on. And once data comes in, we will try to use that data to plan for next semester to make sure that our students are on track even more. And then, of course, providing all district and school personnel and students with updated technology. We know that students enjoy using technology, right? So we want to make sure that they have technology available in schools that they can use for one-on-one learning, for small group learning, for whatever the case might be. just to make sure that we have all our. And you think about technology, technology can be used in a differentiated classroom setting. You are using that to make sure that individual students have. So that would encompass goal one. Goal two is to improve the four-year cohort completion rate. And of course, in doing so, some of the strategies to do so will be to identify and eliminate barriers to graduation for at-risk students with support the dropout prevention team. We will have more conversation on the dropout prevention team, but we definitely want to eliminate barriers. We want to keep students in school, not out. So we have a responsibility district that when our students are not coming to school with contact with attendance in one way or another, then we need to find out what the issues are, what the barriers are that stop them from coming to school and see if we can close those barriers, close that gateway so that they do not become dropouts. And if a student does drop out, we still want to track. I'm not a real big fan of the word track, but we want to track a student to see where they are because they may have left Wilson City Schools, but maybe they went somewhere else. So we need to begin to keep up with that data piece too to see where they are. Another strategy to improve our four-year cohort graduation rate will be to coach students who have recently left school to return and provide necessary support for them to perform on grade level. So let's figure out how to bring them back in. If they left school, let's figure out how to get them back in. We know that all students don't like school, right? I mean, we want to think that they all like school, but all students don't like school. Maybe some of us didn't even like school at one point. But we stayed in school because our parents made us or because we had a desire to go. But now we're thankful that we had the opportunity to be in school. So we have to share what we have and get our students to the place where they appreciate education, because education can be the gateway for them to move out of some of the situations that they may be in. No, just because you're here in one situation now does not mean that that's where you have to be 10 years from now. So another strategy would be to utilize tutoring and mentorship to return students to academic parity with their peers. So if we see that students are not performing well in the classroom, we have a responsibility to provide them with tools, offer them intervention resources per se that will help to build their skill level, close those academic gaps again. So if that means before school intervention, if that means after school intervention, if that means Saturday Academy, I know that might not be popular, but if that would be a way to bring the students in, then that's something that we need to look at all avenues that we can to try to close those gaps. Of course, another strategy is to ensure that a four-year plan is in place for every student who comes into the high school and to make sure that that plan is monitored. So not just put it on paper, but monitor that plan. And I know that Mr. Hopkins and Dr. Robinson already keep up with their students. They already, do wellness checks, I like to call it, to see where the students are, if something is going on, what's preventing them from coming. Foster collaboration between general ed teachers and exceptional children teachers to provide support to the special population. So here again, we have to close the gap because even in 2025, we still have some who see EC as one entity and regular ed as another entity. When truly, in order for any of that to be effective for the students, they all have to work together. So we all have to be, put forth one collaborative effort for the students. We can't work inside. EC and regular ed have to work together. So again, it's a matter of closing the gap, different strategies, having meetings, just airing out some things, collaborating with each other, figuring out how to make it right, doing some things that maybe we've not done before. But whatever it takes to build those structures and put it in place so that our students are, so that they are the ones who are meeting the goals. Because at the end of the day, it's the students who, that's why we're here. We're here for the students. So if you flip over, or if I flip over, goal 3 is to meet the needs of the whole child. We talk a lot about meeting the needs of the whole child. Because, and when I say meet the needs of the whole child, I mean
socially, mentally, physically, spiritually, that's the whole child. We don't want our kids to leave Weldon City Public Schools and they're half prepared for the world, because the world is wholly prepared. We want them to be prepared all the way around. So in order to meet that goal, one of the strategies is to embed social and emotional learning within our core curriculum. So in some of our enhancement classes and even in our ELAs and our math classes, we have to, be creative and strategic in how we put a plan together that will encompass social and emotional learning. Because we want to address the things that are going on with our children. Children come to school every day with things that they've had to deal with at home or in the surrounding area of where they live. And sometimes we don't ever know what it is. Sometimes just a conversation with a child, who may be cutting up first thing in the morning, might get them back on track. It's not always the answer to send them out and send them to ISS, because you're still not getting to the root cause of what's going on with the child. And that's the social emotional piece that we as dad members have to be more prepared in order for us to be able to help our children. So if we're going to meet the needs of the whole child, of course, we have to make sure that everyone is prepared. And then, of course, in order to meet those needs, we have to provide annual professional development for our teachers and our support staff in areas of trauma informed practice and youth mental health. Kids walk around every day and adults with things that they've been dealing with since childhood.
That's right.
That has never come to the surface. And now as they grow and get older, we see those things start to come alive within them. And we're wondering what's going on, but really, nobody got to the root cause of what took place in somebody's childhood.
Sure.
So again, we have to use professional development opportunities to train our teachers so that they can recognize these things when they're present within students, or when a student is acting out and know how to address it. Another strategy is to improve specialized instructional support personnel ratios. Now, I'm not sure how much of that we can do with budgets, but we can spread the wealth around with what we already have. We can make some creative schedules in terms of what we do, and we can look at some other budgets like, budgets like that. And when we're in the planning process, to see if funding would possibly be there to take care of that. And that would help to cut down on the numbers in the classroom, because some of our instructional support persons could pull out our students in small groups and begin to work with them on a smaller scale. Engage our relevant stakeholders, all of our stakeholders have to be engaged in the overall education of our children. And the last is to enhance current or to intervene early. If we can catch our children early, remember the No Child Left Behind, but if we're honest, some children are left behind when they come to school. But if we can at least, if we know, we can begin to address those issues once we have the children here, then we can do some different things. And if we make sure that our staff is prepared. And the last goal is to improve organizational effectiveness. This is where our processes and procedures, can you go up to the next slide? Thank you. This is where our processes and procedures at the district level play a huge role. And some of our strategies that would help us would be to develop and maintain an organizational knowledge base by creating internal systems for maintaining continuity and compliance, and with reporting and budgeting requirements. Just overall, maintaining continuity and putting processes and procedures in place so that we are operated in the right way that makes sense in order for us to do. Another strategy is to initiate timely and effective communication by establishing written protocols. That's what sometimes we ask about. At least I do. I ask about our policy manual, and I ask, do we have this in place or that in place? Just so we can, if we don't, then we can't have it, because they will be effective for us. Because we know that everything starts with the board, and then it's at the district level, and then everything else umbrellas from there. So we have to make sure that everything is in place at the district level in order for the schools to be able to. And then we can all be on one accord. So when a parent calls, fussing about something that happened at the kid level, we can support it as long as it aligns with what we have at the district level. So we have to make sure that those processes, procedures are in place. Another strategy is to align our district resources with our student needs, which I think we do a good job of. Plenty of resources. And finally, to implement and maintain an effective two-way system of communication, again, in order to inform our school system personnel as well as our stakeholders about what our goals and objectives are. for our students. In addition to that, just our overall goals for the next 5 years are to increase the percentage of third grade students on grade level, improve grade through our end of grade proficiency in reading, improve our grades as well through end of grade proficiency in math, science, biology, math 1, math 3, English 2, and to increase the percentage of students with at least a 17 composite score on the 11th grade ACT. And finally, increase our ACT and worksheets combined percentages. So we have quite a bit over the next 5 years to get accomplished. Nothing that I think is impossible, just a matter of us doing the work. Maybe in your package you have a report, maybe. If you do, it will look like this. It just, but in the start, and if you're looking at it now, just very briefly, you will see that we had at least a couple of meetings and we've gone back in and updated the information so that the majority of what you see here will reflect our target date, August 1st, 2025. You might see some 2024s up there, but the majority of them will be 2025. Again, a working document that will be revisited and revised throughout the entire school year and each year to follow. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a quick question, Dr. Williams. Thank you for sharing that information in great detail. My one question that I have is, I know that it wasn't this school year. I want to say it was last school year. We bought something that was supposed to address SEL. Have you seen anything? We paid for a program.
No.
Do you remember the name of that facility?
I don't. What's the name of the program that you all have?
Because I know we paid for something. Mr. Maybe that's it. Are we using Panorama? Are we using that? Are we using that?
Yeah.
We are. Okay.
We are using that, but I'm going to be very transparent. We're not using anything with Fidelity.
Okay.
Which
So
is
that's
where the issue is.
our goal.
Yeah.
To use it with Fidelity.
To use
Okay.
with Fidelity and not in spot. not
Right.
Spot check.
Okay.
Dr. Boone, when you were talking, I believe it was goal 2. Yes. 1, increase academic performance for all. And 3, which is meeting the needs of the whole child. What about the district purchasing programs? We all know that a lot of kids, boys, and some young ladies love to play video games. So, and I was told that esports was a great, tool to use. They love playing video games, and you said earlier, you get them in technology, that's where they flourish in. So what if we, as a district, purchase something of that nature to get our kids involved, to close this achievement gap?
We can certainly
Look at it, okay?
I mean, I get the gentleman who has esports league for the Southeast region. And you're right. I mean, people do have that some schools, not a lot in North Carolina, but in a few places, they're more in the urban or suburban areas. They have esports as one of them. They have a coach for it, the whole 9 yards. I know we have robotics that we're working on too, but you're right. I mean, there's different avenues, just like those of you all that were able to go see part of the band program tonight. I mean, you know, that's another example of giving our kids another outlet. So
Yeah,
that's definitely something we can look at. I'll try to bring something back to you.
I appreciate that.
All right.
I think that would be great.
I appreciate
Class
it.
thing,
Yeah.
we won't hear from that for a little while.
But we have to come innovative and, I mean, think outside the box. Can't keep on doing the same thing, because we're gonna continue to get the same results.
I agree.
One university actually has an East 14. One university has an East 14.
Yes, nothing outside the
If
box.
we can partner with it.
I'll check.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
So my last thing, you should have in your packet a document entitled the Literacy Intervention Plan. This, is what this is Paulette Gordon, literacy person, literacy person. She's already submitted this to the state. We did not post it on our website till you all had an opportunity to read it. But this is our literacy intervention plan, and the purpose is to help our students. It's another breathing document that will help our students in grade K3 to read at or above grade level back in the third grade. So we know that doesn't always happen. So what this plan will do is address those areas and provide teachers can use, we all can use, that are working with kids to help them to grow and become more proficient in reading. Our students, you know, we want to support literacy, which is what this document that it will support literacy. If you're going through it, you'll see many resources listed in here. You'll see a section that will deal with progress monitoring listed in here. You'll see a section dealing with interventions, one that talks about instruction, the instructional piece, and some of ways instruction will take place. You'll also see something about funding, which is PRC 85. And PRC 85 will support things like the science of reading and twice retained students, things of that nature. And it will also contain a piece for our summer reading camp, our Read to Achieve summer camp piece. All of those things are listed in that wonderful document, but this is just it's an overview of what, and it will talk about some of those intensive reading interventions. So it's an overview of what the plan is to try to move our students up, and up. Deal with it.
We already have the CKLA.
Yeah.
Because we've been working with that for a while. Amplify is something that's new
Yeah.
to the district. So it's like a revised version,
Yeah,
and we're gonna use it with Fidelity.
yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And we're going to take the data from it, see what the data gives us, and make a decision on whether. Any other questions?
Are you talking about just for your? Are you talking about for CTE and EC?
No, they're gonna give.
Just for your part?
My last two things, governor school update, I submitted 2 names of students who were both superintendent choices for governor school. That information is signed, sealed, and delivered. Thank you, Lord. It has been submitted, and we will know in February, but they are superintendent choice. Both of those students are. And we're very, very happy to have submitted their names, and we'll be even more happy to write the check. As long as they will go. It will be a huge accomplishment for Weldon City Schools to have to do. AIG update, there was some information that came in by way of AIG tonight. With a couple of names to try and fill that position that we have listed, as well as provide additional support, which I think would be wonderful for our students if we are able to do that. So that is really all I have. You have a question?
Yes, and so the support that you're talking about for AIG, is it gonna be the way that AIG normally is, elementary and middle, they do some pull out resource, and then high school, they just provide support? Is that the type of support?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll probably do some, they'll do some pull out, something the same. But we've been talking about just some creative, ways to provide to the students throughout. We want to test no later than February 15th. And we want to test all of our first students and any new students that we have in Weldon City School. We also want to have different sets of in the working by then, because we have some students that are really, really close. And probably should have been identified, but because we were only using the testing measure, and that has to be about 95% if you're using a COGAT. So I'm sure that that's what has stopped students from being identified. And then we also have some students that could be twice identified. We could have some students that are EC and AIT, but we won't know if we don't open up different pathways and allow ourselves the opportunity to see what our students are capable of and what,
And we have to redo our 5-year plan.
and we have to
I
redo
mean,
our.
everybody has to. So, thing that we've been talking about, and that was one of the things we actually talked about in the interview, was talking about alternative ways of identification for underrepresented, students in the, AIG program, because, if a kid has a lot of sarcasm, that's another way to be able to find, because, it takes intelligence to do that. And so, we really want to find, not to take anything away from that diamond in the rough.
That's right. Well, we'll see what we have. I'm confident that we have something that will make us, well, all of our students will make us proud. All of our students operate just like we do. We are. So that's all I have. Again, anybody? Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
The David, come up there, excuse me.
Evening.
So, it's really some dates, so we, had to do good December, community service evening on December 5th. So we had our kids from RVA and Wilderstown High School to go to Lincoln Memorial, rest home in Weldon, and they sang Christmas carols.
Liberty
and-
Commons.
Commons.
Liberty
Yeah,
Commons.
Yeah. Sang Christmas carols and, things, and played Christmas holiday bingo and stuff like that with the residents. So I had to shout out Miss V, because Miss V exceeded expected growth in 2 of her courses, food and nutrition 1 and food and nutrition 2. So we want to make sure that, we put that in there. She also had, some FCCLA students to visit East Carolina, for the fall conference, on December 5th. And if you follow the Facebook page, you probably saw the students, making blankets for, the hurricane victims and homeless kids. Darren McGee, he was here earlier with his father, but, because of his leadership skills, he was asked to present a session on fire prevention and first aid, at the FCCLA conference in March. There is a legislative mandate for career development plans, so we've already started the process with our students, CTE leadership staff, school counselors, we all work together, so we want to make sure that our 8th grade students have their completed plans, which is the requirement before they enter high school, and the plan has to be revisited in the 10th grade. And then our goal is to start as early as 7th grade and revisit yearly. I've applied for a health careers promotion grant, which is, $25,000, so I'm just waiting to hear from that. So the grant is really to bring awareness to health careers, in our area. So hopefully, we can look at things like having a week-long camp where they get to do hands-on activities like, anatomy or dissecting or, just little things like that, CPR. So hopefully I'll get that grant.
Okay.
Good. All right, on the testing and accountability side of things, we are testing this week. So we have, inter-course tests in biology at RVEC. Wilderstown High School, they'll be taking inter-course tests in biology, math 3 and English 2. So hopefully good results. final exams, taking place at Wilton STEM High as well as RVEC and benchmarks for the elementary and the middle. So that is all I have for you. Any questions?
Kind of touched on my question, Ms. Davis, but you said that all eighth grade, all students have to have it by
At
high
the,
school, right?
yes, before they enter high school, so at the end of their eighth grade year.
Okay, so
So, yeah,
okay, and then our students, of course, this is a state thing, so all schools should be doing it, so
yes.
if we have kids to transfer in, they should already.
They should already.
Get their.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Board members.
Good evening.
Holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
I stand before you to bring you the exceptional children's update for the month of December. All information is as of December 2nd. At that time, district compliance was 97.5%, which is great, which is fantastic. The state's target goal is 95, so we exceeded that. Our December head count, 91 students were included in our December head count, this year. We only had one student that we had to exclude.
One student had to do that.
Exclude. I mean, we couldn't count them. We have individual schools that comprise of the 97.5% that the district had, and all the principals left before I could, it was my turn to show them this. Had 100% compliance. Weldon High School had 100% compliance. Weldon Middle School had 97% compliance, and Weldon Elementary had 95%.
Good.
This is for head count.
Yes.
Okay.
Going back, excuse me, just that second, when you said we exclude one student, what reason, well, why would we exclude student?
I can put you after. I don't want to identify.
No, I don't want to do that student. I was just,
Normally, when a student is excluded, I'm just gonna give a general.
that's all I need. That's all I need.
It's because a disability category might be incorrect,
Okay,
they might have aged out.
okay, that's good enough. Okay, I just want to know why. Okay.
If I could just offer to clarify, I think by excluded, you're saying excluded from head count. It doesn't mean they're
Right.
excluded from receiving services.
Okay,
It's
okay,
just the head count that attaches to your funding.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
not
Okay,
excluded
that's
from receiving the services that they would need.
perfect, perfect. Thank you for that. That's all I need, just clarification.
We have 4 referrals from the elementary school and 1 referral from the middle school. The one from the middle school is the out-of-state transfer, so it's automatically a referral in the state of Illinois.
Okay,
Next, you have our district disability categories broken down with the number of students that we have being served in each of these categories. 10 students with autism spectrum disorder, you may hear somebody say ASD, yeah, ASD, that's what it is. Developmentally delayed, we have 7, you may hear somebody say DD, that's what that would mean. Emotional disability, there are 3, you may hear somebody say ED for that. Hearing impaired is 2. Multiple disabilities, we have 1. Intellectual disability mild, you'll hear somebody say, I need mild, moderate, or severe. That's the same categories. We have 18 being served with mild, 7 being served moderate, 1 student being served severe. 21 students being served with, learning disability, which is now going to be called specific learning disability, beginning in our January meeting. Other health impaired used to be OHI, but it's just gonna be OH. In our January meeting, we have 11 students identified, and we have 12 students identified speech impaired.
In those categories, would one person, I mean, is it possible one person is identified in multiple categories, or are they all at one person per category?
Yes, we have, like the student with multiple disabilities,
Mhm.
that means they got a lot,
Okay,
a lot of stuff.
I'm saying, so they might be counted in multiple,
They could also be receiving, these students could be receiving speech services, they
okay,
might be receiving occupational therapy services
okay,
as well.
okay, so they could be counted in multiple categories, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I think our pre-K numbers are next. We currently have 32 students enrolled, we have 16 in each class. 6 of those 32 students are EC students. We have 4 slots available, 2 in each class for students identified EC, to be identified EC. We have received 3 referrals from Child Find after December 2nd, but I can tell you that number has increased because I received 3 today.
What's child mind, I'm sorry.
Child Find is something that every district is supposed to participate in. For instance, it's really kind of funny the way they describe it. If you go to the grocery store and somebody say, oh, my sister has a son and I think something is wrong with him, and they might say the child is 2 years old,
Mhm,
you're supposed to contact that school district.
mhm.
That school district is supposed to contact whoever the individual is to see if they're interested in services.
Okay, gotcha.
In Weldon, CDSA, what it's called, Weldon, Rocky Mount, Halifax area, the main offices in Rocky Mount Child Development Service Agency,
Mhm,
they do a lot of it when children are born.
okay.
Monies, everybody likes money. For PRC, 060 in your packet, I have given you a description of what each PRC can be used for and the dollar amount. PRC 60 in parentheses, I've kind of given you a little heads up of what we're using that account for. We received $261,280 for PRC 60. For preschool, PRC 49, we received a total of $12,745. For PRC 29, which is our behavior grant, we received a total of $70,000. And we will have to apply, we apply every year. Any questions?
Yes. So you told us that we had 97 kids and we were able to put 91 on our head count. So we still have 6, right?
We had 92 kids,
We had 92 kids.
yes.
Okay. Okay, I thought you said 97. Okay, so my question is this then. There was some money that we were trying to apply for, Dr. Stockdale. Are we gonna get that money? I know we weren't able to get it because we lost it before. We have to get that money.
You said the Medicaid reimbursement?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
We already have our providers and our staff already know what they need to
Okay,
file for.
And I can't say we filed for first quarter, the transfer was sent today.
okay, okay. Compensatory services for, I know you said that the elementary school, we didn't have a teacher there. Do we have a plan in place to provide comp services for those students?
It will be provided during our summertime.
Is that gonna be enough time to provide?
Yes, for the one that, yes, for him.
Okay, so just one student in that, for that. You said just one?
At the elementary school. I'm not gonna say it's just one.
Mhm. Okay,
I can't tell you exactly how many it is right now.
okay,
I can get that number if you want.
But that's why we're really trying to get it compliance where we need it to be so that we can find out. So we can anticipate and go ahead, if we can add some time with providers.
Mhm.
We'll try to do that, but if we can't, then we'll know what the deficit is to inform the parents for the summertime, give them that option.
Okay.
And compensatory services too, I mean, it's individualized, so it depends on the student and their IEP and what amount of services they need to receive,
Right.
and even, I mean, from a purely legal perspective, you know, having a long-term sub in the classroom doesn't automatically equal comp, so there's a lot of different considerations, in deciding, you know, who is owed comp and what the amounts are and what the scheduling is, so it is highly individualized, which is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say, like, this is the number and this is what's gonna happen. It depends on each unique circumstance.
Got it.
Right, well, and that's why I was asking, because we didn't have a certified teacher here, so it's gonna definitely be more than one kids that I was asking. Okay.
But I am working with the elementary school, if that's what you're referring to, under my, because I'm EC certified.
Right,
Working with them so that we won't have so many. Then we'll have to have.
okay. Is there a wait list for pre-K?
Miss Easter told me today, she handles the day-to-day operations of pre-K, that there were 3 students. But the parents had not done the application.
Okay. And is 504 under you, or is that under you, Dr. Bloom?
It's under me.
Okay, how many students do we have in the?
He can't tell you that. I get the information.
You can just email it. to me.
Okay.
That's okay. Gotcha.
Fine.
Any other questions? And that, thank you so much, Ms. Bull. Now we will have Mr. Hunter with operation. Oh, first of all, before Mr. Hunter starts,
You go ahead and get going.
yeah, we're gonna get. He have to, approve the district improvement plan and the literacy intervention plan that, Dr. Bloom presented to us. Can we get a motion to approve both of them together? Okay.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Okay, it's been, motion to approve the district improvement plan and the literacy intervention plan. Are there any questions from anyone? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the both plans, the district improvement plan and the literacy intervention plan, have been approved. Now we will have Mr. Hunter with operations. Sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I will not be before you that long. Just want to bring some updates, what's going on in the district as it's concerned with our operation. Just bringing some good news, finally, with the new chiller that we purchased. I got word today that, well, no, not today, but yesterday, that the chiller is, it has been completed. It is on its way. It's in Charlotte. They're gonna bring the chiller in Friday. So, it has been installed on Friday. Right now, they have some technicians that came out, today to start unhooking the old chiller and draining the water out of it so that they can take it up and set the new chiller in place. Not yet. Close to the club. So Friday it'll be in. Also, just want to let you know that the central office expansion. We finally got our permits, so now we can get back to getting that project completed. Come back and start back up Thursday. Working on getting that project up and getting that complete. Just a few new school updates. As it was stated earlier, on the 26th, we had a breaking and demolition ceremony, which we had a real nice crowd participation that came out and attended the ceremony. And as Dr. Chuck West said earlier, if you haven't went by the site as of yesterday, there's no more walls. I think the school building is down. it's finally down. And now we can continue moving forward to get the new one started. So keep your eyes open because every day something new is happening. Also on the 12th, just want to let you know that we had a OAC meeting, committee meeting, and we discussed looking at the addendum 6 of the drawings of the new plans for the building. We also looked at the MEP CAD drawings, and talking with the engineers about coming in, finalizing a lot of their detailed drawings from the conversation that they've had with the state, and as well as with the each other, the engineers and some of the vendors that's going to be actually coming in and doing work. We also talked about the furniture package as well as the AV package. And on the 12th, we had a meeting with furniture package people, with Blankenship, Miss Caroline from Blankenship, and Emily from Ratio. We had a real nice meeting. They came out to this, Emily came out to look at a lot of the furniture. Teachers had an opportunity from each department to look at furniture that they're actually going to be in their classrooms, as well as outside of within the facility. So we're really finalizing what that furniture and stuff is going to look like, and everybody want to forward on the same board, so we can move forward. Tomorrow we'll have our next OAC meeting. That will be 10:30, in-person meeting. We have to do it. CNT is hosting that at the gym, so you have time, you want to come out. Lead us at the gym. It's also virtual, so there will be a link well if you want to participate virtually as well. And on the 19th, which is Thursday, we had a virtual, rescheduled virtual AV meeting. So it's audio visual equipment that we're looking at as well as the IT. So we'll have a meeting discussing those avenues on Thursday and just want to remind transportation, remind the parents and students to sign up for the Edgelord Parent Portal, also known as Here Comes the Bus. We've had some recently to sign up, so just want to encourage folks to continue to keep looking or going to the website, and you can see the infographics and showing you how to set up OAC phone. And you can look under the departments and operations transportation where you can find that information to help you to get that. Any questions?
And we think that we have solved finally the sewer issue
Yeah.
at the middle school. Again, it was another pipe that had a very thin wall left on it. And just to give you an idea, the plumbers that came out, they put their snake in there, they couldn't get it out. 2 people couldn't get it out, a crew of people couldn't get it out. Took the truck up to it, couldn't get it out, because when it's got a little ball on the end, it's wheels on the bottom of it, and they got in there, and when it got in there, it kind of came through the top, and it just showed us some more where we had interference, so that the water flow going through there. We're also putting in a bigger pipe. But what had happened was in the original design, the pipe went down from 6 inches to 3 inches towards the end. This way, we're gonna let it all flow 6 inches all the way down.
It makes sense.
So we're happy about that, because
Yes, we are.
Boy, that's important.
it has been a work in progress.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hunter. Moving right along, we're going to go to the consent agenda, and that is the EC contract that you all were given at our, the first of the month, the first Monday of this month, when we met. So can I get a motion to approve the EC contract?
If I could just make a quick comment on the central contract. For that one, I'm still negotiating the legal boilerplate. The dollar amounts, like the hourly rates that are included in the attachment that I think is on the very last page of the document. Those amounts are not going to change, but I am working through a couple of the legal terms and conditions. So I would just ask if you could do these separately, if you so choose to approve that Centra contract subject to further attorney review as well as approval by your superintendent. That would give me the flexibility to continue to work through those final negotiations. Again, that's just the legal boilerplate. It's not the actual dollar amounts or the monetary items. And for the other one is ready to go. Statement of work that clearly describes what the services are. So I would just ask you to do those two separately.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the central contract subject to the attorney review?
Second.
Okay, it's been, motion by Mr. Robinson, seconded by Mr. Lord Davis to approve the central contract subject to the attorney review. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the central contract has been approved subject to attorney review. The next one is, the other contract. Can I get a motion to approve?
Which contract was that again?
There was another one.
That is an occupational
Occupational therapy,
therapy
yes,
with
occupational therapy.
Katrina Powell Bell.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion by Ms. Bird Robinson, seconded by Mr. Davis to approve the occupational therapy contract with Katrina, Bell Powell. Any questions? If not, can I get your usual voting sign? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the occupational therapy contract with Katrina Bell Powell has been approved. Was there another one? Okay. All right, now, we're going to, anybody need a break? All right. The next item on the agenda is discussion, and, one item we do need to discuss is, last few weeks ago, when we did have our meeting and our swearing in, we met briefly with, our board attorney. And we were advised that, we were going to be having a meeting with the state. And I asked you all, were dates available for you all? And the state has said that they can meet on January 22nd. Is that okay with everyone?
That's the you gave me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on my calendar. Yes, that works.
January 22nd, and so we didn't have a time, which time works best for you all, 4 or 5? 5.
22nd.
Just looking real quick, 1 second.
Yes,
That's Wednesday, right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Wednesday, it's the day before our actual board meeting,
Yeah, either one works. Either time.
either time.
4 o'clock. Works for me. 4 o'clock. Works for me. Yeah. Where are we meeting? Here at the central office, right?
We're gonna meet at
Okay.
Central Service. Yes.
I mean, I can do 4 or 5, whichever is good. I can do 4. That's what.
Okay, and you all meet me halfway, let's do 4:30.
4:30. Yeah, what it is.
22nd.
Yes. Sir. 4:30 at Central Service. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? All right, the next item, anybody else have anything to discuss? The next item is going to be, board comments, well, no action from closed session. Can I get a motion to approve the, personnel report from closed session? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Mr. Bennett and seconded by Ms. Harrison to approve the items from closed session. Any questions? Hearing none, all those that approve, say aye. Any opposed? All right, so the items have been approved in closed session. Next item, board comments. Anyone have anything to say?
Yes, I'd just like to say to everyone, wishing them a happy holiday, to be safe. Make sure you look around when you out shopping, just protect yourself. and just enjoy your family and get plenty of rest. And we thank you for all you do and hope the new year be a good year for all of us. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being here tonight. I know that you've had a long day because you've worked all day. And then you came here to put in some more work, so we certainly appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope that you all enjoy your holiday, enjoy your break, enjoy your family, sleep late. Because I know you're up early and late night, so just have some me time, because it's very important for us to rejuvenate and, allow ourselves to be able to enjoy ourselves sometime. So again, thank you for all of your hard work that you do every day. I know being in education is not a Monday through Friday thing, because you work on Saturdays and Sundays, too. So again, thank you, and we appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy. Thank all of you so much. I really appreciate it. I sure do. Thank you all. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your hard work and your service and your dedication to the students of Weldon City Schools. So it's just truly a blessing to have you. And like I said, we know that you're committed, and we just want to thank you. And I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Take some time with your family, and be grateful for all that we have. There's so many people, obviously, that are a lot less fortunate than us, but we're just very thankful. So thank each and every one of you, and have a great Christmas and enjoy your break.
Yes.
Once again, I want to thank everybody for everything that you do. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. We say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Hanukkah, enjoy your time, and we'll see you in January.
There you go.
All right. Of all hearts and minds are clear, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second.
Has been motion by Ms. Brett Robinson, second by Mr. Davis to adjourn. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Can I get your usual voting sign? Aye. Any opposed? If not, we